This brief demonstration in our series of videos which contrast FrameMaker 7 to FrameMaker 10 will focus on one aspect of the user interface, pods. Although pods do a variety of things, this demo will simply focus on index markers and show you how much time and power can be saved and achieved using FrameMaker 10 versus the older FrameMaker 7 product. This is just a very brief introduction to some of the improvements to the user interface of FrameMaker 10. The first thing we're going to take a look at is pods. And pods make quite a difference because they allow hidden information to be displayed. To give you an example, I'm going to basically simulate the way that we used to do something in FrameMaker 7, which we'll see in a moment. That was actually to search for markers. So let's do this. Let's just move our marker window over here. And what I would actually do is use the find window, perhaps over here, and I would look for a certain type of marker. So I have marker type, looking for index, etc. Now those of you that are familiar with FrameMaker have probably already spotted the markers because they look like, if I were to draw a box around one of them here, they look like an upside down T. So let me click my cursor here and start searching for markers. Okay, the first marker that I found, which is right here, is CEQ. You can see that I've highlighted it in the marker menu. Let's go ahead and search for the next one. The next marker that we find, which is right down here, is author's endorsement, and do another find. And here we found one that's called impact assessment : evaluation of. If we wanted to, it is possible to search for text inside of markers, but this can be quite a daunting task if you're trying to manage all of the index markers in a book. In this particular case, we actually have 6 documents open, so we have a lot of markers, and we don't want to continue to hit the find button and you let our eyeball try to recognize the correct text over here in the marker window in the lower left-hand corner. So I'm going to show you what I think is a big improvement to the user interface. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and dock the find window and the marker window up here where I normally keep them when they're not in use. And I actually am not going to use the catalogs at the moment, so I'm going to quickly fold them out of the way so they're not distracting. But I'd like to show you something. The FrameMaker 10 interface includes what are called pods, and you can basically take some of your more commonly used hidden materials like index markers, cross-references, reference graphics, etc., and you can have them display down here in this area which we call a pod. It's a collapsible pod that'll open up from the bottom. And in this particular case, I'm actually looking at all of the markers inside of the current document that I'm in. And as you see me scrolling down here, first of all, you'll notice if I double click on any one of these, it will actually take me directly to that marker, and it'll pop open the marker window in case I want to make a change to it. But what makes this incredibly powerful, and in this particular case I need to resize the window up a little bit. I'm on a laptop, so I don't have a lot of room here. Right now I'm only looking at the markers inside of the current document. I can actually look at the markers inside of all open documents. This will take a moment to redisplay, but as you're going to see as I scroll down here in a second, that we have got lots and lots of markers to look at, plenty of them. And what's particularly useful about this when you have a lot of documents to manage is that you can sort these markers in various ways. You might want to sort them alphabetically here by the text that's in the marker window. In this particular case, it starts with numbers, moves down to A, B, C, etc. We also can decide, notice that in this case our document names are mixed quite a bit. Like here we've got resource, response, concern. Once again, as I click on any one of those markers, notice it will take me to that document and it will actually select that marker. In this particular case, the marker, I'll draw a box around it, is right up here. We can sort them by document as well. So if we wanted to have all of our documents in order, I could go through all of the concern markers first and then move on to the next, etc. So this is an incredibly powerful way to locate and make changes to hidden information like marker text where you may have some mistakes. You might possibly have 2 markers that are extremely similar and discover that one of them has a space at the end of it or that type of thing. So for those of you that are used to FrameMaker 7 or versions earlier than FrameMaker 9 and 10, I would say that this pod alone is one part of the user interface that makes it extremely easy to get addicted to the product. The other thing that I really like about this marker window is that if you want to, you can actually detach it and resize it to the size that you wish. Now I'm working in a laptop window, so you would normally have more space than this, but I could actually have this in another monitor or someplace where we've got quite a bit of room, and this actually allows me to basically monitor all of my markers as I'm transiting through my documents. Most of the time people simply display the markers that are inside their current document as they're moving along, and they often like to know what page they're on, so I probably would resize this to the point where the pages display like this. So you can see it is indeed quite customizable, and this will save you a tremendous amount of time. These are marker pods, and this is just one simple way that FrameMaker 10 has improved your user experience. I'm going to go ahead and dock these back down at the bottom of the window where I normally use them. In summary, the pods in the new FrameMaker 10 user interface can do many useful things, displaying critical hidden information. The example we used was index markers, but it also displays other highly useful things that were previously hidden, like all of your cross-references, indicating which ones are unresolved or broken. It can also display all of your imported graphics, all of your fonts, and a number of other useful things. They cover a variety of important categories. As you also saw, although the pods are typically attached to the bottom of the screen, an individual pod can be detached, and it can float free from the workspace so that you can actually monitor all of your index markers in real time or similar information while you're working on documents. You also notice that with most pod content, whether you're working with conditional text control or in this case index markers, if you simply double click on one of the listings, it will instantly take you to the target instance. In conclusion, the older product FrameMaker 7 really has no equivalent to the functionality of the pods in the new user interface. Basically, the pods display multiple instances of hidden information that FrameMaker 7 users have to search for one instance at a time. This can be particularly frustrating if you have a large project with many pages or many instances of referenced graphics, different types of markers, cross-references, even missing fonts. This is one more reason that many people have been happy to upgrade from FrameMaker 7 to FrameMaker 10, and they've experienced a jump in productivity once they were able to monitor this information more